Hey guys, welcome to another review of Cobra Kai. I'm
Yeah, we're
joined
back.
by Jake. It's gonna
Yep.
be a normal amount of time for you, but for us, it's been a year at least.
Yeah.
Is what it feels like. But we finally got around to watching the second half of the second season of Cobra Kai, and I gotta say I regret watching it. Um,
He's saying that because it was the worst thing he ever saw in his life.
yeah, I hated it.
It sucked, you know what? Like
We're gonna
0 out of 10
cancel.
reviews over.
We're gonna not watch this series anymore. So this is the
Oh,
final Cobra Kai
okay,
video.
we're joking. We're
Yeah,
joking.
we.
Um, where where do we start?
I don't.
Because there. Okay, well, first of all, I'm gonna say there is going to be mild to extremely heavy spoilers, like
Yeah,
huge spoilers.
yeah,
So if you're like somehow following along with us, um, be advised.
yeah.
Um, like huge disclaimer. Um, check out other content or something
Mm,
on the channel. But yeah, so literally, so I go over once again. Um, we usually do with this since it's a TV show. We kind
yeah,
of just talk about the overall narrative, but I feel like with these 5 episodes that we watched, um, we a lot of it was kind of crucial.
yeah.
A lot happened that was it felt pretty crucial. Um,
A lot led up to it.
yes. So like where we left off with episode 5, it ended with Hawk and a bunch of other kids trashing Miyagi-Do, the dojo, stealing the Medal of Honor, and episode, of course, with episode 6, obviously, we're picking up right back. But it's been so long since we did it. Well, it hasn't
Yeah,
been like so too long since we did this. Um, it still felt like we're jumping right back in.
yeah,
But but that's just with us. Um, so with episode 6, Johnny and Kreese are basically trying to oh, I'm sorry. Johnny's trying to figure out because Kreese already knows who did it.
yeah,
Because we all know Kreese instigated it in the first place.
yeah,
He was like the one that said the battle's not over until it's finished or something like that. Like basically,
yeah. Pretty
like he
much.
knew, but Johnny's trying to figure that out. Well, while he's trying to do that, he gets a call from his one of his buddies who was in the original Cobra Kai, um, the group, in the first Karate Kid, that their friend Tommy is terminally ill. So Johnny decides to go down there and see him. You get a nice reunion with the original Cobra Kai um, kids, and they decide to they don't want him just they just don't want to leave him to die in a hospital. They want him to kind of go out doing something fun. And um, when I initially over I every time I rewatch this show, especially season 2, I've really overlooked episode 6. I There was just so much heart in that episode that it's just I just couldn't fully see it. Just the whole thing with just them just hanging out with their friend that was just terminally ill and just trying to wanting to be there with him and have him spend time with him and do something like fun. So he's just not like just in a hospital. Just um and of course we got a pretty sick bar fight, I will admit.
Yeah,
Um
this is very cool.
but but with episode 6 it was that those final minutes of the when it's with the Cobra Kai, when the original Cobra Kai, that's just really gut wrenching. Um I really like the scene where it's Johnny and Tommy talking. I really like that scene. Um, it's just and it was just so heartbreaking
It
when
really was.
he's like, they were talking about Allie and how Tommy had a thing for her, but Johnny was the one who like got to date her and stuff. And he's like, well, Tommy was like, you still have time, and then that was just pain. That's just painful.
Yeah.
And then that that morning he died. He died in his sleep.
Yeah.
It's fucking rough. This
The second half of the season is very powerful, like unironically. Like
yeah
through the first
yeah
half of the second half of the season. Well, I mean for this episode specifically, I was like, "There's no way Tommy's gonna die. He just got reintroduced." And then at the end of the episode, I was like, "He's dead." Okay. Um,
yeah
shouldn't
um
have said anything. Whoops.
yeah it honestly, like, I know when I said, like, I always say, like, season 2 is always seen as the weakest season, but uh I never always said that was a terrible thing.
Yeah.
But the season 2 at its strongest is this second half. It's at its best in terms of comedy, like literally everything. I think it was like the first 5 episodes for the just looking back at it, like it just felt like it was just a bunch of build up and not really anything super exciting happens. I should say
Yeah.
it's more just build up, and then we'll jump to I think it was episode 7. Yep, okay, because I remember. Okay, I know because episode 7 is personally one of my favorite episodes, and it's just for this one thing, and that is the whole Coyote Creek thing. So what you don't know, um, in this episode, the Cobra Kai kids, they they do this. Kreese puts them in this special training mission, and Johnny doesn't want to do it at first, but he agrees, and so basically, they kind of play this. It's basically like capture the flag, but it's like it's basically capture the flag, but there's multiple flags, and you're wearing the flag, and if
Hmm.
you but they're not actually wearing flags; they're wearing like bandanas and stuff. And if they take it off, um, you're out of the game. Um, and there's no um limitations on how to take it off. It's just you do what you have to do to get rid of the headbands of your team. And I know this doesn't seem like something where it's like something being like, oh, why would this be your favorite? It's just I talked about this when we had our little 3 hour chat um about I talked about American
Yeah.
Pie too, and
Little.
how I said I liked that was my favorite out of the series because of the setting, and that's the same thing with this episode. I like the concept of just the woods and just them and just just fighting out in the woods, um and if it were up to me, I would have had that be the whole episode.
Yeah.
Don't cut to Miyagi though. Just have this half-hour long, just suspenseful game of war.
Hmm.
Because like I said, it's just setting is key. It just with the woods, it just feels like so much more interesting, and you get moments in that too when you have you hear the rustling in the bushes and like someone's like right behind them, and Hawk just jumping out from the tree to tackle Mitch.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So I just wish it didn't cut back to Miyagi Do so much.
Yeah.
So I just think that was just much more cooler than them just doing a bunch of doing their training in the different conditions. Um, and of course, and with that Coyote Creek, it it got me one of my favorite one-on-one fights in the entire show, and that is Miguel versus Hawk. I know it's a short fight, but I love every minute of it because it's not only is it my two favorite Cobra Kai characters, but I just love how even though like you can tell they're friends, they're clearly not holding back with each other
Yeah.
and kind of like playing with Hawk being like, "Is that all you got?" and stuff like. It was really interesting to see, and I love that move when he grabbed Hawk by his shoulders and just slammed him into the ground. I fucking love that, and I always get so like hyped every time I see that fight, and he does that move, and I'm like, oh, that's so good. Um, but yeah, and if you want to know who won, Stingray won the Coyote Creek.
Yeah. I don't know why.
If you don't know who Stingray is, he is a he is a legend. He's I will say that I'd say he's up there with like Bert in terms of power scale.
Yeah.
um
He's
so
the
yeah,
older
if you
version
don't
of
know,
Bud.
Stingray is so he first appears in like the first half. He's just this like everyday just guy working at Home Depot or something like that. Then he just joins the dojo because
Why not?
because of Valley Fest, and it's just weird because he's just a full grown man with the um. It kind of reminds me of Spencer on iCarly, and what I mean is like, but I'm not saying it's like exactly the same, but it's like with the thing with like Spencer is like the whole thing in that original show was just he's kind of this like sort of man child, so he just hangs out with a bunch of teenagers. Um, and that's the same thing with Stingray. He's just this like man child and kind of a loser that, so he just resorts to just hanging out with teenagers doing karate.
Yeah.
um, yeah. So what happened is he just sneaks up on Michael, and it was probably like it's like one of the biggest plot twists. He just because like, and what's so crazy about Coyote Creek is just that whole like the whole thing is just you kind of just forget that he's in there, which makes it him like coming out of nowhere just that much more surprising.
Yeah.
Kind of just forget that he's there in the first place, which makes it even like better that he just it just like it just worked. Um.
Yeah. I forgot he was in it as well. I was
So
like, what the
yeah.
fuck?
And another thing with these like episode 6 and 7 is we kind of get a buildup of well, not only like we said in episode 5 of um Miguel and Tori start dating. Sam and Robbie started dating, and I fucking hate it. I hate them as a couple. Um, it's just it's like you can tell. Like I don't know if this is the case, but it feels like with their relationship, it's mainly a physical thing.
Yeah.
Because like literally every time they're like together, ever since they just start dating, is they're just making out. Like that's all they do.
Yeah.
And it's like you guys can do other stuff together. Like
Yeah. Like talk.
that's just what and it's just like it's just I remember when we were watching episode sub when we should have been watching the Coyote Creek we were doing with the Miyagi Do, and they were doing like the stuff in the cold, and there was the scene with when they're building up their relationship when they're fighting in like the circle and they just grab onto each other and they just like don't like let go, and there's just and I can remember you were like, what the fuck is that?
Because, like, it showed his breath. I was like, what? They're teenagers.
Like it's like it's just weird. And so they start dating, and what's so well, this will definitely carry on is I don't like I said I feel like with them it's mainly a physical thing on Sam's part, like, and I just because it's like I said, it's just every time they're together, it's just them making out and stuff. It's just like it's weird. Like I don't know,
Yeah, I just like
but
that.
with episode 8, you know, I feel like we're missing. I feel like we're missing stuff too, but
So
I
much
feel like
happened.
we're mainly getting the more important details,
Yeah.
I should say. So episode 8, we kind of get more tension build up and stuff, and mainly the rivalry between Sam and Tori. This happens mainly because see, I'm out of my train of thought. So Tori works at like a roller skating rink, and they're Miguel wants to, no, Miguel being himself. He wants to, like he wants to take her out and stuff, but he's like, she's like, I got work, so he's like, okay, then I'll come to your work and we'll like have a date on break or something. And Miguel being the wholesome kid he is, like, um, and Sam and Robbie go together, and there's just awkwardness immediately.
Yeah.
When like and what really bugs me about with the roller skating rink part is when Miguel goes up to Sam and he's just we wanted to clear the air and stuff. Like she just goes like I can't believe you're with a girl like that. Like what what's it, what is it to you? You're with another guy, like why do you care?
Literally, like, what the fuck?
Like it goes to show that she never really moved on from him.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that. That she definitely didn't, but there's just in that of course with and Tori sees this, so in retaliation she pushes Sam, and then Sam being pissed off, she pushes back, and her and Robbie get kicked out. Sam, I'm referring to Sam, obviously. um you know I feel like with their rivalry, it's just there isn't a um like it's not like a black and white sort of thing. It's just they both just kind of just topple on top of each other, just like they just can't. It's just like you do something, I'm gonna do something back, and then because you did that, I'm gonna do that. Like it's just like that kind of thing. It's just they just bounce off of each other, and it's just like they just both are equally toxic.
Yeah.
At
Everyone's
least
just
with
kind
like
of annoying. Like I said, I think Moon is like the only normal person in the show.
I would say Moon, Amanda, and Carmen are the most normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would Moon. Like I know it would seem like Moon's just this like weird hippie girl, but like she's like trying to do the right thing in this situation.
Yeah.
I hope in like a future season or something she she joins Miyagi-Do or something, because that would be right up her alley. Because it's not really about, because Miyagi-Do is like all about like peace and inner balance and stuff, and I think I hope that happens in a future season.
Oh yeah.
I think that would be nice, but so um and another thing that happens in that episode 8, with Johnny, he's starting to, clearly develop some feelings for Carmen, Miguel's mother, and she's seeing this guy, this British man,
Bish.
this British man, and of course when um Johnny's out, and because Miguel convinces him to try like dating apps and stuff, and he's just
Hmm.
out at a bar, just trying to mingle and stuff, and he runs into her boyfriend, and he's of course he's a dickhead, literally cheating on her, and also saying like he doesn't want to be a father to Miguel, and she's only worth like a couple of you know you know
Things.
that's all
Sexes.
she, yeah. um you know I was with Johnny when he kicked his ass. That was that's I was with him on that.
Yeah. Same.
And of course, it leads to him asking her out because he tells the boyfriend like don't ever like talk to her ever again and stuff, and so he asks her out. So now, so with these final three episodes, 8, 9, 10, I think this is when it's at this is when the spicy meter is at the top. It's these final
Yeah,
three that it's really like this is hot. And
for sure.
so episode 9, mainly so there's mainly two plots going on. One, you have Johnny and Carmen going out, and of course, and coincidentally, um, Johnny and Amanda are going out.
Mm.
And it'd be I loved your reaction when you're like, oh, you know this is you're like this is gonna be good when Dan.
Yeah, as soon as that scene started, I was like, this is gonna be fun. I'm gonna enjoy the
Yeah,
scene.
I like that, and I really like. And then the second plot is Moon is having this kind of huge party before school starts, and she she invites Miyagi though, but she also invites Cobra Kai and doesn't tell Miyagi though. She doesn't tell Sam
Yeah.
because she just wants peace and stuff, and a lot happens at this party. So yeah, so a couple of things. So the first thing is we get Nate doing some Fortnite dances. That was very crucial to the plot.
Yeah, it was indeed.
I like. I'm just kidding. So no. So Tori and Sam's rivalry. It escalates more when Tori challenges Sam to a drinking game. This isn't a normal drinking game. This one you stand on a stool. I think with like one leg.
Yeah.
I think it was like just them on one leg. You have to stand on the stool with one leg and just keep drinking until you fall off. Um, and you can tell that Sam clearly has not had a drink before because she gets super wasted,
Mm.
which leads to more bad things that happen at this party.
Yep. Yeah.
But yeah, so Sam ends up winning this drinking game, which pisses Tori off, which she just blows off the party basically. Um, And what I like about this drinking game scene is I like that Miguel is clearly sick of this bullshit. Like
Yeah.
he's like I'm so over this.
Yeah, he was just there like the
Like you can tell he was worried. He was just genuinely worried about Sam and Tori too. Like he's like I'm just talking. Um, the second thing is Dimitri and Hawk are they kind of at first it seems like they might start to get along again, but then Dimitri tries to recommend Hawk to Miyagi-Do, and that causes Hawk to spill his beer all over Dimitri. And in retaliation, Dimitri basically gets up on stage and roasts Hawk in front of everyone.
Hmm.
And that
That was
you know
when I think no, it was either the scene. I don't know which one happened first, but it was either the scene where like that scene or the scene where Hawk saw that Piper girl and was like,
oh yeah yeah
"Watch
yeah
this."
yeah
One of those scenes, whichever happened first, was like the scene that was like, "This
yeah
is a fun
that was
scene," and then
yeah
it
that was
turned
before
into
Dimitri
yeah,
because
like the whole party went from like, "Oh, this is fun," to like, "I'm not having fun anymore. I don't want to be here."
yeah I like with that scene when once he like sees that Moon and her are together is he kind of reverts back to his shy insecure self and he's just like being like yeah I'm Hawk and just like walks off like you
Yeah,
can I like that attention to detail
yeah,
like because he couldn't it just
definitely
really shows
realized
that
that
his
too.
whole persona is just all about that confidence and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I noticed that
um
detail as well. I was like, "Damn, Eli's coming back."
So yeah, and one of the biggest one of the biggest like things that happened at this party was Sam is clearly drunk out of her mind. Like she is like almost like blacked out drunk. Like she is not like she doesn't like look too good and stuff. And Miguel um comes up to her and tries to try to comfort her, like just not like comfort her, just asking if she's like okay and stuff. Just just checking in on her well being, like
Yeah.
um and she talks about well she thanks him for returning Mr. Miyagi's Medal of Honor, which I forgot to mention, but in the reason why it's kind of the Coyote Creek fight was so aggressive is because Miguel wasn't just trying to get the headband. He was trying to get the Medal of Honor because Hawk was basically wearing it and basically flexing it and being like, I got my Medal of Honor. And Miguel sees this, and I just wanted to. I'm sorry, I don't know how I forgot that, even though that was like one of the most important aspects of that fight, because he was trying to get that medal too, so he can bring it back.
Yeah.
Which also, since I don't want to jump back either, which Miguel did return it. He went to their house to return it, and Robbie answered the door, and he takes it, but instead of giving it to Sam or anything, he hides it in the dojo, so another student can find it. So it's just like, oh, it was there the whole time, like no one took it. But Sam finds out through Aisha that Miguel returned it to Robbie, and Robbie was being super petty, and she stumbles and he catches her, and there's just this kind of pause, and you can tell with Miguel's body language that he was nervous. Like he was like, because you can like he, even with like just as a viewer, there's just some tension, and I know the music does that too. It's just like and they kiss. I always every time because I like don't like Sam, I always try to. I'm not trying to be like sort of biased with it, like, but every time I rewatch this thing, I try to like analyze who went in first, just to be like, oh, was it Sam or was it Miguel? Like who went in first? I need to know if Sam's the real villain. I feel like now that I like seeing it, I feel like it was kind of equal. I feel like they both generally were not over each other, and we're using both Robbie and Tori to just kind of fill that void.
I'm not one of those people that's just like, oh, he was sober, she was drunk, he knows what he was doing. But like, this is one of those situations where like, Miguel, I don't think he drank a single drink or anything. He was sober. There's really no reason that could have prevented him from kissing
I mean,
her.
like, of course it's wrong because it's so like, but I feel like it was just, it wasn't like he wasn't taking advantage of her. It was more just of like that, in like like that like that. It was in the moment, I should say. I'm not trying to defend him or anything. I still think it's wrong.
No.
I just like it wasn't like he was like taking advantage of her at a party, and
exactly,
like it wasn't like that at all. He just went there to catch her and
just
just
the pussy.
ask if she was okay.
Yeah.
And Tori sees us.
Of course.
And yeah, of course. With the Dimitri roast, it gets pretty standoffish. Then it's almost like there's going to be some massive fight at the house. There's definitely not a massive fight at all in this season. So
no, none at all.
Yeah, and then the cops show up. And Tori's nowhere to be found.
Yep.
And
Didn't tell
Sam, of course, she's super drunk. She tries to tell Robbie what happened, but Robbie's just all about trying to get her home, but um she's like, my parents will kill me if they see me like this, and he's like,
Oh
okay, I have
yeah,
an idea. So they take her to Johnny's place.
yeah.
Um,
It's like it's actually so unfortunate because like
they were
Johnny
starting to
and
get along.
Daniel scene, like every time they get along, there's something that the kids do.
Yeah, like remember season one? They were getting along. They were gonna spar, and then Robbie shows up. Robbie's in the pool house or whatever,
Yeah,
and causes the tension again. Um, yeah. So then that leads us into the big one, episode 10.
yeah,
This is the top. This is the probably the best episode in the season.
yeah.
That's by default.
To
Um,
like for the story, yeah, but like for like not being sad, no.
yeah. So a fun fact about that like first like plot with like Daniel stuff. That was the first clip of Cobra Kai I can recall that I've seen,
The
and
school fight scene.
so with Daniel and Johnny fighting,
Oh yeah,
and a reason why I strayed away from the show before I got into it was because I saw this scene out of context, and it looked like, and when you see this out of context, it makes Daniel look like kind of like the bad guy in the situation, just
yeah,
being like super aggressive and stuff. So that's why I steered away from like the show for, because I was like, I never like was much into Karate Kid back then, and
hmm
I was just like, I knew Daniel was the good guy. I don't. It's weird. I don't know why they're having him be the bad guy, because that's what I just thought the whole show was.
yeah,
Just Daniel was the antagonist, and I didn't like that because I all I knew of the Karate Kid was like this kid was Daniel was the good guy, and like I didn't like that, so that's why. But fortunately, I went and watched it, and here we are now. We
sad
watched it
as
multiple
ever.
times, and I'm here sharing my love of this series with a friend, and
Yeah,
we're reviewing it for
yeah.
the channel.
And you're watching it? Said no
Yeah,
more.
so yeah, and they've been building up this Daniel versus Johnny fight since season one. We were waiting for this.
Yeah,
Um, yeah. So of course, now they're at beef again, and it's the first day of school. Tori is nowhere to be seen. She's gone. She doesn't come back in this episode.
yeah, not at all.
She's gone.
She's actually
Yeah,
dead. She died
yeah. She
from
yeah, she got
cancer.
killed off. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Um. Okay. So first day of school, everything's normal. It's just a normal school day, and then the, there's a couple moments. Not much. There's just Sam trying to tell Robbie again what happened at the party, and the bell rings. Saved by the Bell.
Hmm.
Um, kid tries to some kid tries to go up to Hawk and be like, I used to wet the bed, and because Dimitri told everyone that Hawk does that, and basically as an attempt to kill his confidence. And you can tell he kind of did, because his response to that is just to go super aggressive and knock the books out of his hand.
Yeah.
But school day seems normal, and then there's some they're doing the school morning announcements. Normal school day, and
As they
then
usually do.
you can hear a struggle going on, and like someone's grabbing the microphone, and it's Tori,
Yeah.
and she takes over the
Back from the
microphone,
dead.
and I gotta say that announcement is fucking badass.
Yeah, it
I
was.
love that. Just that, just I'm coming for you, bitch, and then just like turns off the microphone,
That
like
whole
that was
scene was
so
like,
ominous, and just um uh, I and you know crowd, the bell rings, like class is over. Everyone's like, "What the fuck's going on?" Like, and Sam and Tori meet in the hallway. Big crowd starts to form. There's lots of tension, and a literal, I would say, a literal riot breaks out. They refer to it as a riot in the later seasons, but I'd say it's like a war zone. Like
Yeah.
it was. I don't. It's not even like a fight. It's just like a like. Okay, massacre is not a good word, but like it's just like it's chaos. Like it's like literally everyone starts brawling and um. Well, it wasn't like it didn't like turn out to a brawl at first. It was basically just between Sam and Tori. I like when Tori kicks Sam into Hawk and him and the guys just grab her and just yell at her to get back in there and push
Yeah.
her. I like that.
That was funny.
I
Yeah.
like that because I everything about this fight scene was just perfect.
Yeah.
It's but yeah, but it wasn't even like a huge it wasn't even supposed to be like this huge fight. Robbie went, oh, see, it's like you say with season one, it's all about the timing. Robbie goes over there to try to settle the situation, restrain Tori. Miguel shows up and he sees Robbie having his hands on his girlfriend, so he's like, oh shit, and he tackles Robbie, and then all hell breaks loose. What's so great about this fight? There's a lot of good things about this fight. Well, I like that. Well, see, I'm at another train of thought.
Yeah.
First
It's
of
all
all,
good.
one of my favorite things in terms of action scenes in fiction is when there's multiple opponents. I like team fights. I like free for alls, like all that stuff, because I like when you can look at multiple things happening on the screen at once. So there's always something to look at.
Yeah.
I always love, this isn't just with like I with like Marvel movies like Captain America Civil War, Endgame, like having these just just having so many characters just on the screen, so you can always look in the background and see oh, what's that character doing? Like these characters find it's so cool, and it's just a lot more entertaining. And what's and another good thing is I'll say is I like the way the camera spins around and just and I watched part of the breakdown of the cast broke down the fight scene and stuff. I
Yeah.
like how when they spin that camera they switched in a stunt double and you can't tell.
Yeah.
And now that I know that, it ruins the fight for me. Because I can tell
Yeah.
when Miguel's stunt double comes in, I'm like, yeah, that's a stunt double.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
it just because it looks like all one continuous take. I'm referring to the hallway part.
mm,
It all if you look back, it all looks like one continuous shot when everyone's going at it. Um, that's what makes. And one other good thing about this fight scene is that there's some funny moments, of course, but it doesn't kill the tone of it. It actually makes it better. It's more exciting. I like when Hawk just yells, "Oh!" Like Hawk was just waiting for this, and he just pushes Nate and Bert out of the way and just starts beating up everything.
yeah.
And of course, Stingray's in the fight too. Because he's there because he's trying to get a security guard position because he wants to. Of course, he wants to there just to hang out with his friends,
Yeah.
but he just starts beating up kids.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Literally all just everything about this fight was just it's just so cinematic and just and what's so good is this fight has been built up through the whole season, so it was worth the wait. Like you didn't think you kind of when you go back with this season, you don't really you don't really like think there's just gonna be an all out like brawl with like every like student, but like it happened and just like it's it's just executed so perfectly. And I still think to this day that it's one of, if not the best fight scene in the entire show. It
Yeah.
is it is shot perfectly and has and it's just to remind you, this fight is so good that it's literally the chunk of the episode.
Yeah.
I think it goes on for like 20 minutes.
Really?
I think it's like 20 minutes, like the full thing. I like clips on YouTube. It just goes like part one, part two, but I think the full thing is like 20 minutes, 15 to
I
20
thought it was
minutes. Like
like
it takes up a
10.
chunk of the show.
I thought it was 10 minutes.
No,
Doesn't go like
I
30.
think it went on longer than that.
Oh, jeez.
I think I'm bad with time. Um, but yeah, so this fight just keeps going out of control. Um, let's just it just gets so out of control that Tori started this whole thing. She Let's just get this out of the way. Tori literally went into this with the intent to kill Sam. I'm just gonna say it. Like she went in there for blood.
Yeah.
She went in there for to literally kill her.
Yeah.
And um that she literally has weapons on her, like these like spiked. I'm not. They kind of function like brass knuckles, but there's like spikes on the knuckles. Um, I there's probably a word for what they are, but it's like a spiked bracelet, um, which you see she has in the earlier earlier in the season.
Yeah.
She straight up like scratches Sam like very deeply in the arm, and she basically had her like she was like ready to stab her in like the throat or something. Like she was ready to kill her. Um,
Yeah. Not a very good
and
situation to be
obviously
in.
this is even though like honestly cheating's bad.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't think murder is the way to go.
Yeah, no.
I don't think that's it.
Not the
And
best thing to
I
do.
think and kind of but how I see the motivation like behind this is and this is just how I view it. This media is an art form, and art forms can have different interpretations as just how you see it. I saw it as I look back on what she told Miguel um, about how we have to fight for what's ours, and that's just how I saw it. I just the way she was with Miguel, I just feel like she just didn't see him as a boyfriend, just more of a means to the end. Because honestly, she started dating him just to get back at Sam. Like that
Yeah.
was the whole thing. So that's just how I know it might be different, but that's just how I see it. What do you think? That's what I think with her just being like we have to her saying like we have to fight every inch for what's ours. I just think that's just how I correlated her literally trying to kill Sam because she wants to fight for what's hers because Miguel is her boyfriend.
Yeah, I definitely got those vibes as well, honestly. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
think if they just talked, none of this would have happened. But
I,
of
th- I
course, since show has to happen.
I think if Sam just didn't accuse her of stealing her mom's purse, none of it would have happened.
Yeah,
That's just how this all started.
a lot of this could have
But,
been avoided, but obviously it
but
wasn't.
yes, but that's not the even though and you think with those two that the most devastating thing happens with those two.
Yeah,
It's not. It's with Miguel and Robbie. Um, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be in. This is gonna be a hot take, but Miguel won that fight fair and square. He won. He had Robbie pinned, and he could have broken his arm at. He could have broken his arm right then and there, but he spared him. He
he
let his
showed
guard down. He
mercy.
said he was sorry, but Robbie, just being Robbie, being douchebag, he gets super pissed off and cheap shots Miguel, and he kicks him. Well, he doesn't like. He starts off with a cheap shot. He does a couple like kicks and stuff, and And he literally kicks Miguel off the second story floor.
Yeah.
We had at our high school we had a lot of barricades and stuff, like you probably remember.
Yeah, I
And
do.
that is definitely a worst fear of mine.
Yeah.
Um, so, and just the way he fell, just that crunch, that snap, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
like, fuck.
Like that's bad.
And you're like, oh shit, like, is he dead? Like, did he just straight up kill him? Like, and he runs off. That's the end of the fight. And we just get an aftermath of this fight. We don't know much about Miguel's condition in this season but it's like it makes you question if he's gonna live or not. He's critically injured.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. Everything was starting to go right for everyone, like
Mhm.
especially for like Johnny and Daniel.
Mhm.
They're starting to be friendly with each other, and then you know, Johnny goes on the date with Miguel's mother, and then
Mhm.
of course all this happens, and he's on his deathbed. It's just
I I
God.
fu- I fuck I fucking I hate when he does the voicemail and you're like, oh, like it's just I hate it.
Yeah.
Um, but so Johnny is just he's devastated, obviously, because he does see Miguel as like a son, and you can see that when like we talked about the British guy earlier, just being like, I don't want to be a father to this kid, and
Yeah.
Miguel kind of Miguel Johnny took offense to that pretty pretty well. So,
Yeah.
but so he's at a low, and he retreats back to the dojo, and guess who's there? It's Mr. John Kreese. He took back Cobra Kai from Johnny while he was away. Um, and Johnny previously kicked out Kreese because of the stuff at Coyote Creek. Mainly because of Miguel. Miguel was kind of taking Kreese's philosophies of no mercy, and after the fight with Hawk, he just knocks him out. Like when the fight's over, but and he does that. He did that twice. He did that to another kid too. He just knocked him out after, even
Yeah.
though they got the headband off. But yeah, and because of the school fight and Miguel being hurt, they pretty much blame Johnny for the fight because Miguel spared Robbie, and that led Robbie to, basically kick him off the balcony because he let his guard down,
Yeah.
and didn't, break his arm or anything. So Johnny just gives Kreese Cobra Kai. He's like, I'm done because he's at his low point. He's just like, um, and Amanda tells Daniel to not do karate anymore because a literal like war zone happened at the school because of this karate rivalry.
Yeah.
Um, and
Really.
Johnny is just drinking away. He ditches his car and his phone, but unbeknownst to him, Allie sent him a friend request because he sent her a DM. Well, he did it on accident because
Got bumped.
he bumped into the girl at the bar. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for the plot season. So now we can just talk about everything else. I will mention that this is gonna sound insanely wild to you, but this was supposed to be the series finale.
Really.
Yeah.
This.
I did some research in preparing for this video, and I thought it was because YouTube Red just kind of stopped. That's just what I thought, and just Netflix. But no, they didn't want to renew it for season 3. and that's
What is
and
wrong with them?
honestly, that's bullshit.
What the hell is
You
wrong
don't
with
end
them?
the show like that. You
Yeah.
can't.
No, you don't do
I,
that. What the fuck is wrong with them?
I remember. I'm just looking up petitions, being like, "Make Cobra Kai season 3." And fortunately, Netflix was able to sort out a deal, and they continued the show. So
Yeah,
yeah,
good. What the
but yeah,
fuck?
that was supposed to be the end. And honestly, if I was a fan of the show at the time when this came out, I would have been pissed off if they were like, "Yeah, we're not doing a season 3." I would have been like, "What the fuck?" And if
Yeah,
that was the
literally.
case, and like Netflix didn't do anything, that would have been the worst like series finale like ever put. It's just the most cliffhangery series finale like ever, where it's like literally everything just went wrong,
Yeah.
and we don't literally know the fate of Miguel because he could die. He he could die,
Cool.
but yeah. So what are your thoughts about the season as a whole?
This is pretty good, honestly. Like, I had no problem with it at all. I give it a 9.5 out of 10.
That was like just like season 1.
Yeah.
I will say, I'm gonna do it like this. I will say either a 9.3 or a 9.4, but the school fight is a 20 out of 10.
Yeah, for sure. Like, there's nothing
Like
wrong with the season. There's
no,
just some
no.
awkward
I,
moments
I like
that
I
just
still
bring it
think like
down.
season 2 is definitely one of the weaker seasons,
Mm.
but the show is but it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's not. It's still amazing, and it's just really that the second half that we're talking about is the season at its like best, at its strongest,
Yeah.
especially those final like 3 episodes. It's really like at its the season at its best.
Yeah.
Um, so that's just my rating. Everything about this, like it's still it's still great. There's just a lot. This was a really emotional second half.
It really was.
Definitely
Like,
more than the
I'm
first
I'm
season.
emotionally tired. I'm physically tired. Um
Um,
I just don't know what to say. I don't know what to add. But just
yeah.
jeez, I
Um,
was not ready for
so with
any of this.
so we kind of need to talk about the future of our reviews because as we're recording this, sort of the big thing with well, we're still trying to figure out how we're gonna do this. If because we can't stream. This is how we watch the shows on just Discord,
Yeah.
um, voice chat, just screen share, but and Netflix blocks like third party streaming and stuff. We try to venture out into like other apps, but just haven't worked out. Um, so um, and as of we're recording this, Netflix is in a lot of hot water right now because of a lot of the decisions they've been making lately,
Yeah.
which you probably know about
Yeah. Very
with
dumb.
password sharing and stuff. So it's going to be really hard to figure out like what the future is of us doing like continuing on because like I said, only the first 2 seasons are available on YouTube via premium.
Yeah.
Season 3 and 4 are only on Netflix. Um, I know I've seen physical copies like DVD, but not like Blu-ray, but DVD.
Mhm.
Not so. Um, so with seasons 3 and 4, um, it's pretty much up in the air how we are going to do this.
I
Um,
think in the best case
as
scenario,
we're recording this, I don't think part 2 of season 1 has been uploaded yet. So,
yeah. And
um,
the updated schedule is since like we've been into FGC again, The and the videos are going to go back to the same format as earlier. Uploads are going to come out more consistent. I don't know how much reviews are going to come out, but probably once a week still. I think
Yeah,
the
so
review might come out soon, but no, we'll see.
I will. I'm gonna be. I think. I think just for our emotional sake, because of this, we'll take a break from Cobra Kai.
Yeah,
We're gonna take a break.
an even
We
longer break than we just did.
I think it was just we. I think it was only about a week or two. We just have our break, but
Felt
this one's
like
gonna be
months.
it's just gonna be mainly us trying to figure out how we're gonna be able to, whether this is gonna be rather gonna be an in-person thing, and of course with all the Netflix stuff is like, are we gonna be? Is this like password stuff gonna affect us? Is this gonna? So how are we gonna be able to do this? And
Yeah,
so I don't know.
we'll figure it out.
We're gonna figure it out.
Yeah, we'll talk off
Because of
video
course
about
I want to
this.
continue. I love doing. I will be honest. I think this is the most fun reviews I've done for this channel.
Yeah,
I will be honest.
yeah, I've been having fun with this series.
It's because usually when we were trying to do reviews during like the pandemic and stuff, we would um I was doing it on my laptop and quality wasn't as good.
Yeah,
Which is unfortunate because like we did one of my favorite movies and like I kind of feel bad that we didn't get like the best experience we
yeah,
could, because it's my favorite movie and I want to show my friends my favorite movie. And
yeah.
but
I definitely, I can't wait
but
until like we're able to do like stuff in person when we both get the time to do so. I
yeah, it's
definitely
just
think online stuff
it's
is
just with
starting
like
to get
everything and stuff, and
annoying.
we yeah.
Like
But
it's
yeah, so
doable, but it's just at what point is it like, ugh, you know?
so we're gonna try to so this isn't the end for Cobra Kai. This is definitely not the end. We're gonna I don't want to be like YouTube and just be like, yep, we're done. Like
Yeah,
we're not doing this anymore. I want to continue, and I want to be able to when season 5 comes out, which is probably going to be with their upload schedule. It's probably going to be end of this year, December, just like season 4. So, and I want to do like like have discussion videos talking about season 5. Like, oh, what, and like be ready. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Have like fun conversations. Be like, oh, what do we think is gonna happen in season 5? Do a trailer reaction and like have like those good like discussions and stuff. So, and I want to, and when we do that, we have to go through. We have to somehow watch these 2 seasons in the right way. Watching them the right way, not going on like pre-pirated sites and stuff. Because we want to be a good example.
yeah,
But so yeah, go watch the first 2 seasons on
yes,
YouTube Premium. Just do a free trial. Don't give them money.
yeah,
No, don't give them money. Just do a free trial. Um, and you'll be able to watch the first 2 seasons. And maybe if when you do that, you can, if you somehow have a Netflix account too, go watch. Well, you know what? That's very contradictory because you can just watch all 4 seasons on Netflix. So what's the point?
yeah.
But
What is the
I'm
point?
just saying that. But yeah, so go watch it. This is obviously highly recommended.
Yeah, it's a very good
um,
show.
I'm very glad that you were enjoying this.
Yeah,
Um,
like if something does catch my interest, like I'll continue watching it for sure. And this show
yeah,
so far has been very tremendous. It's probably because
absolutely.
I don't watch anything besides like sports on TV, so like I don't know, but
So yeah,
that's
I
gonna
think that's
do it.
gonna wrap every. I think
Yeah,
that's gonna wrap everything up. I know you want to head to bed and stuff, so
I'm very tired. mentally and physically.
Yeah. So I'll leave it to that. Thank you for
Yeah.
watching. This was probably way too long, but
Let me see how long
that's
it
just
is.
when I'm on here, videos become an hour long.
It
So
is literally when you said that, I went into OBS and it's an hour and 16 seconds long. Holy fuck. Alright, that's gonna do it, guys. Goodbye.
yeah. Thank you so much for watching. Yep.
Fucking hell.
That was good.